Hey, Barnsley Badger, and welcome to 64K. So here we are with another episode of New Retro, and if you've never seen this before, I take a new game made for an old system, and then I take the inspiration behind that game, and we check them both out. So today's games are Monty on the Run, that came out on Commodore 64 in 1985, and we're going to look at Barnsley Badger, which is a new Commodore 64 game that came out a few years ago. Okay, so let's first take a quick look at Monty on the Run, the game that clearly inspired Barnsley Badger.
In 1985, Gremlin Graphics released Monty on the Run for the Commodore 64. It was originally designed for the ZX Spectrum computer, hence Monty's visual style. The C64 version was coded by Jason Perkins, who did some other awesome stuff at Gremlin, like Jack the Nipper and Avenger, and the music was by Rob Hubbard of International Karate and Nemesis the Warlock fame, amongst his many other gems. The game was a multi-screen platformer with a similar style to other British games of the time, like Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy. Like the name suggests, Monty was on the run from the British government and has to escape England and beeline it for Europe. So collecting objects, solving puzzles, platforming, and a lot of death make up the gameplay. And it's still a fun romp to put on even now, even though the difficulty would be pretty high for most gamers to handle. This was the third game in a pretty popular series from Gremlin, and was clearly the inspiration for today's other game, Barnsley Badger.
Okay, so now let's check out Barnsley Badger, the game that was clearly inspired by Monty on the Run.
Barnsley Badger was designed by Trevor Story and released by Cytronic Software in 2016. Trevor Story has been a pretty prolific designer in the last few years on the Commodore 64, making a bunch of really brilliant games like Organism and The Legend of Atlantis, just to name a couple. This, however, is nothing like those, and is a perfect, almost companion piece to the Monty legacy, or more specifically the third game, Monty on the Run. Barnsley, just like Monty, is a down-on-his-luck dude, just looking to make a quick buck. He hears a story about buried treasure in his local graveyard, so being the vagabond he is, he goes to steal it before anyone else so he can pay off his ridiculous debts, or so the story goes. The first thing you'll notice is the Spectrum-styled Monty graphics, which they have been able to replicate so well, yeah, and I absolutely love it. Back in the day I always scoffed at this style of graphics, but honestly, I quite like it now. It feels retro, but just in the right way. Collecting and dodging is the prime gameplay, just like in Monty, but the game is a lot more forgiving than that department, which makes the game more fun to play as a result. Trying to find all the treasure is an absolute blast. Collecting power-ups like the glowy stones, which you use in your slingshot, which is an absolutely awesome addition to the game, and just plain exploring the 120 screens this little beast has to offer is so much fun. In the digital download, you also are provided with a map of the whole game, so it gives you a nice idea of the scope of it and the lay of the land. The music by Andrew Fisher is very cool as well. From the loading tune to the actual game, it's just great stuff. I also like the modern sensibilities, like the checkpoints scattered all over the place, indicated by these blue fire things that make traversing this place a lot more enjoyable. The level design is also well done, and each jump and platform seems to be set up really well to challenge and keep the pace going, as Barnsley moves a bit faster than Monty, so it's a bit of a quicker game, but still retains that Monty feel excellently. If you own a C64 and love platformers, then this is an awesome addition to your collection that is fun, charming, and just the right amount of difficult.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the second episode of New Retro. If you want to find out more about Barnsley Badger, check out the Cytronic website. You can pick up a digital download version of the game, or you can pick up this awesome physical copies. And if you want to find out more about Monty on the Run, probably the easiest way to play it if you don't have original Commodore 64s with the C64 Mini, it's on this system, so you can check it out that way. And thanks for joining me, Barnsley Badger at 64K. If you could like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll see you next time. Cheers!